Hi, my name is Kayleigh Swift. I'm one of the associates here at NB Property Law, and I've got my colleague Damian Ebzery from Tax Advisory Strategists here with us today.
Yeah, so we often work together on work with our clients to make sure they get the best advice out of both worlds, with combining the legal side of things and the documentation with the tax and other issues that go along with it. One of the things we wanted to cover today was actually the term estate planning. Now, it's often confused with just a will, but it's much greater than that.
Yeah, so we often have clients that we're assisting with their estate planning needs. There is a lot involved, as Damian's mentioned. You know, we can have a very basic estate plan, which may just be a will and power of attorney, but often, you know, accountants, financial planners, they may recommend something more extensive after knowing the client and their business, and that may involve testamentary trusts, and obviously this client may have a self-managed super fund that we've got to take into account, because obviously the estate plan or the will itself, one thing that is excluded from all the assets is that self-managed, or whether it's self-managed or industry super fund.
Because the other item that people often have is what's called a discretionary family trust. Now again, depending on how that's set up and structured, and if equity's been gifted to it, it most likely won't make up part of a person's individual will estate either. So there's the role of appointor and roles like that within the trust structure that need to be dealt with separately to the will in part of a more overarching estate plan document.
Yeah, very important point there. And I suppose the other one as well to think about is, you know, our clients that do own businesses, you know, they're often directors or, you know, maybe even sole director or shareholders of these businesses. Having a look at what, you know, the shareholders agreement says, or the company constitution. You know, do we have an alternative director that's going to come in play if for whatever reason one of them is incapacitated or is unable to do the role altogether because unfortunately they've passed away, and who are we wanting to basically, you know, potentially have a first right to purchase the shares in that business. You know, if it's a partnership, obviously we want it to go to maybe the surviving partner out of that company.
Yeah, so some of these are within an estate plan, and some are actually probably even to outside of estate plan as well, like shareholder agreements and so forth like that. So there's a lot to cover in this area, but it's really important to know that there's much more involved than a will, because so much actually falls outside the will, and that can be insurance policy payouts as well.
Yeah, and I suppose, you know, some people don't see the urgency in getting these documents done and put in place while they're still fit and healthy, but obviously it's very important because we never know, unfortunately, any of us, you know, what tomorrow holds. So, you know, recommendation is obviously get onto it quickly, get your accounting advice, get your legal advice, and make sure that you do have an estate plan that you understand and that is actually valid, and that you actually review every 5 years or so.
And make sure the people who will deal with it actually know where it is and can be found, because you can have the best arrangement in place, but if the people who need it at the time can't find it, then it's not worth anything either.
Exactly right, and I suppose as lawyers that's why we have safe custody, so we can store it and it's you know, not unfortunately shoved under the kitchen sink and destroyed. So, you know, important to have a chat to either of us up front and get those documents put in place. But otherwise, thank you for listening, and hope you're able to gain some information on your own estate planning matters.
Thanks for your time, and we'll probably cover more in the future.
Thank you, Kayleigh and Damian. Chat later.